So Chelsea lose 2-0 away to Everton. This is a result that most people seem to have already called. I, in my prediction, had Everton winning this game 1-0. And the reason being is because Everton, even when they lost 3-0 to Manchester United, had very good spells. They managed to attack Manchester United in the second half of that game and just before halftime, and they showed that they had the capability of taking on any team. They showed that against all the other teams that they faced in the recent past, and they were able to dismantle Newcastle, who unfortunately have a lot of injury problems, and I will get to Newcastle later on in another review of their game against Tottenham. But Everton have been playing very well, and they deserve everything that they get at the moment. Sean Dyche is showing his defensive resilience, and the fact that they have been docked 10 points and they're still outside of the relegation zone right now shows that Everton have some belief. And I was fearing for them at the start of the season. I thought that they were definite relegation candidates. But now we have the three promoted teams all the way back down to where they were at the start of the season, where Sheffield United, despite their win, are bottom. And then you have Luton, who have now lost 2 games in a row, albeit against 2 teams that are definite title contenders and 2 teams that you would have expected them to lose. But at the end of the day, Everton are doing what they need to do. They're trying to create enough distance between themselves and the bottom 3. And I don't see any reason why Everton are going to go down this season at this point. Now, unless something changes and unless their personnel suffers some serious injury problems, I think Everton are going to be a good side, maybe just under mid-table. They should be able to take care of most of the teams that are in and around them. And the fixtures that are approaching them right now, I think some of them are winnable. As far as Chelsea, Chelsea are Jekyll and Hyde, and the last 2 games, they have been dour. They have been terrible. And whether you think Pochettino is the man for the job or not, one thing that needs to do is they need to come up with a comprehensive way that they approach the game. They can't be this team that's going to be trying to counterattack, especially when you're going away at Everton. They don't seem to have much in the way of confidence. Most of their fullbacks, you see Reece James getting injured again. This man has a hamstring that is made of silly putty. He seems to be getting injured all the time. And fine, you can't really control much of what happens to your body. And I don't know if maybe it's his training methods, whether it's something maybe genetic, I don't know. But it seems as though this man cannot be relied on. He is a great player. He's very phenomenal when he plays. He is easily Chelsea's best player on his day, despite being a fullback. But the problem is that he just doesn't seem to be able to stay fit. I can liken him to Calvert-Lewin on the other end, who always seems to also not be fit for Everton. However, he has been able to get a run of games, and he's doing very well for his team. That's something that Chelsea might need to look at. And it doesn't matter how many times they sing about him being one of their own. It's not going to matter if he doesn't play 2 or 3 games in a row. And especially right now when they need him, they need that leadership from someone who's from the academy, knows everything Chelsea through and through. And it just doesn't seem like they have that much in the way of leadership. Now, Pochettino has tried so far. I think it's a very tough call to try and make this Chelsea team back into the top 4 team that they were before, because Todd Bowley decided to rip up the blueprint, and what you're going to get is what you're going to get. You're going to get a team that's going to have starts and pauses. Every once in a while, you are thinking that Chelsea are going to be a good team, like the 4-4 draw that they had against Manchester City, and in the very next game, they disprove you by having a very terrible showing. So Chelsea are a team that are going to need a lot of work. And if Bowley wants to achieve anything at the moment, he is going to have to give Pochettino some time. And what I'm fearing about this guy, because he hasn't installed a director of football yet, one at least that I know of, or one that's visible enough, it doesn't seem as though Chelsea have a game plan. And he tried to take over the transfer dealings this summer. He tried to do it the summer before. And most of his appointments have not really worked in the favor of Chelsea. So you can see that confusion translate itself into the field, because most of the players they have, your Mudryks and your Enzo Fernandez, are going to have people starting to get on their backs because they have no end product. Mudryk has only scored 1 goal, one that was a fluke at this point, and I think he has maybe 2 assists, something like that to his name. Jackson has had a few goals, but you can't really say that he's giving us the same confidence that you would have had if this was Didier Drogba reincarnated. And then you start having some fans already starting to call for Pochettino's head as early as 16 games. So this game was a lesson in perseverance from Everton because the game was even at the start, but once Doucouré scored his goal, you started seeing Chelsea falter. And that's one thing that, similar to Manchester United, they need to start stopping is this capitulation that they seem to endure immediately the other team scores. Now, they were able to shade that away when they were playing against Manchester City and when they played against Arsenal. They had the home team advantage in those games. But when they go away from home, Chelsea just seem as though they just fall apart. And Everton were able to take advantage of that. And by the time Everton were managed to rifle into a 2-0 lead, Chelsea were pretty much gone. So they need to rethink their whole strategy. Todd Bowley needs to do something very different. And he needs to give Pochettino the tools that he needs because right now he just doesn't have that. And Chelsea are going to get beaten each and every time they go out if they do not change their transfer strategy, which just seems to bring in any flavor of the month right now. As long as he's under 23 years old and he has some type of a name or he is associated with Arsenal, best believe Chelsea are going to sign him. But anyway, Everton with a 2-0 deserved win against Chelsea. Chelsea have a lot to think about. And Everton, they just need to keep doing exactly what they're doing. They are creating a nice safe distance away from the bottom three. And that's all you can really ask for a team that has been docked 10 points so early in the season. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this. I will catch you in the next review. Peace.